Discussing the Sarria to Santiago 5-day pilgrims is a controversial topic and I often face criticism for doing so, but I feel compelled to share my observations all the same. Starting shortly before Arzua today, the crowds of Camino tourists were unavoidable. These are my honest thoughts and opinion on the matter. To be clear, I obviously make exceptions for those who, for whatever reason, are only able to walk from Sarria to Santiago, like the blind couple. Witnessing that is truly beautiful. Some are unable to physically walk longer distances, and the Camino has been a lifelong dream for them. And it's great if they manage to complete the 5 days, fulfilling their dream. And it goes without saying that groups of Spanish school children that are here to visit their great country are exempt from my thoughts here. But when I see buses ferrying people and luggage from one stop to the next, it rubs me the wrong way. The Camino has, in this section at least, turned from a sacred journey and become commodified and repackaged as a travel experience. And as the trail swells with those seeking selfies rather than spiritual growth, the pilgrimage risks being tainted by the influence of tourism. And yet, who am I to judge the motivations of these latter-day pilgrims? The Camino, like all paths of enlightenment, lies open to any soul. But there is a dissonance, a clash of intentions, when the hallowed and the hedonistic follow the same yellow arrows. Buses disgorge flocks of travelers who resemble sightseers more than seekers of truth. Their tiny day packs carry maybe sunscreen and snacks, leaving no room for the self-reflection and the hardship that shape a pilgrim's journey. They mostly march in impenetrable groups, chattering incessantly, oblivious to the quiet contemplation the Camino demands. The cafes on this section are sometimes huge enterprises, overflowing with people, blasting loud music, selling silly souvenirs, and everyone is in line for a stamp in their pilgrim passport, which is patently ridiculous. Most have tiny backpacks, but many are carrying nothing, absolutely nothing. And good luck passing the large groups, as they take up most of the space, mostly move very slowly and randomly, and their trekking poles are going off in all directions, sometimes inadvertently aiming right for your eyes. Sure, everybody walks their own Camino, and that's just fine. But most of the tourists aren't walking the Camino. They are part of an organized travel group, and in my book, that is tourism. Walking on the same path as a pilgrimage does not make one a pilgrim. Walking parts of the Camino on an organized tour is a long walk. And you can take all the selfies you want and collect all the stamps you feel you should. But it isn't a pilgrimage. Collecting cafe stamps for the credentials is like children collecting football championship stickers. It's like seeking a sense of accomplishment without enduring the true hardships of the pilgrimage. Tour groups treating this millennia-old ritual as little more than extended walking holiday. Where's the inner exploration, the struggle to cast off life's inessential burdens? The total immersion in the simple act of placing one foot before the other until the mind, too, falls in step with the body's rhythm. And on this hill, I will die. This isn't a pilgrimage. This is tourism, a pastiche of a pilgrimage. Perhaps I romanticize the Camino, viewing it through my rose-tinted lens of my own journey. Yet is there not a sanctity in upholding the essence of this pilgrimage? Sometimes it seems that the only penance is parting with tourism dollars. Then again, who's to say enlightenment cannot be found in unexpected places? The Camino has long been a choose-your-own-adventure tale, where each pilgrim writes their own spiritual narrative, no path more valid than the other. In this light, the selfie-snapping tourists are merely pilgrims of a different order, maybe seeking the same human truths as a battered, backpacking brethren. Who am I to judge which is the more authentic path? And yet, there's something almost profane about treating this ancient rite as just another travel experience to be booked and stamped off. A pilgrimage demands totality, a willingness to shed all distractions, to walk until the mind too joins the body in its journey, transcending the physical into the metaphysical. Can this state be achieved in guided, bite-sized chunks? Perhaps the very act of walking the Camino, no matter the duration or depth of intention, is enough to part the veils of our everyday lives. Or perhaps there are depths of insight unlocked only through full immersion that these brief pilgrims will forever miss. As I pass the tour groups, I can't help but wonder if their experience is akin to reading the cliff notes on enlightenment, a Camino light. They walk the path, but can they truly understand its essence? Or is the Camino's magic accessible only to those who surrender fully to its rigors, letting the journey unmake and remake in its crucible? In the end, perhaps there is no singular, authentic pilgrimage, only a spectrum of experiences as varied as the humans who undertake them. My role, of course, is not to be a gatekeeper, but to celebrate the diversity of paths that lead, one way or another, to truth, or whatever it is you're looking for. The Camino is just a mirror, reflecting back the deepest yearnings of those who walk. And if they're seekers of pomp and selfies, or if they're looking for the silence between each footfall. Everyone walks their own Camino. And we're not supposed to judge, and I know I'm judging here, but judging is what people do. We're not saints. And seeing these travel groups definitely taints the experience somewhat, which is why walking on to Fisterra is a great idea, for the purity of the walk.